Washington fall.
Yes. All right, Walsh, I was tipped off that there was a secret meeting that had occurred last Friday around 4:30 in the afternoon. And apparently, the forces of freedom and right were there. People that believe in the Constitution in the state of Washington had gathered together in a secret location. What were they planning? What were they planning, Walsh?
The demise of an unconstitutional tax scheme. A lot of questions. What do we do? Do we do a lawsuit? Do we do an initiative? Do we do, run a bunch of candidates for the legislature this fall on the issue? And the answer is all of the above, of course. There will be lawsuits, there will be initiatives, and there will be a lot of people running for the state legislator to try to get this thing turned around. None of them are competitive. I think filing a lawsuit against it is natural and necessary, and I think it'll have a synergy with Initiative Project, because I think it'll keep the whole thing in the news and people realize this is a state income tax. It is not whatever Ferguson calls it or whatever his PR team says it is. It's a state income tax.
Yes.
And at the whim of radical left legislators, it could be a state income tax on everyone from the rich tech bros down to the guy flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Yeah,
and that's what's going to happen.
And Representative Walsh, to be able to condense that, I want you to listen to the kind of squirrely, wormy language when King 5 asked the governor about the pledge and whether or not the threshold would be lowered. Listen to this.
The other big concern is that this is eventually going to be an income tax for all. Are you willing to make a pledge that won't happen?
Okay, are you willing to make a pledge? So the pledge would be, I pledge that this will not be an income tax for all. That's it. Simple, about 6 or 7 words. It's all you need to say, right? So watch how the governor works this one around.
That won't happen?
I keep making it. People keep asking me about it.
No. I keep making it. People keep asking me. Okay, then make it, right? Nothing against this King 5 reporter, but this is a lawyer that knows how to work these words. I keep making it. People keep asking me. Then you'd say, okay, make it, right? But listen to this.
So I appreciate the question over again, but it's important to know in the legislation, it's actually capped. That's actually in the legislation. And
now, it's in the legislation, but he hasn't made the pledge.
And each year it goes up by the amount of inflation. So that to me was really important. When we had negotiations around this, I was very clear.
Now,
that's where it had to be, the millionaires level. And to be clear to your viewers, that means it only applies to someone after they make their first $1 million in income that year. So you're not taxed on the first $990,000 you make in a year, for example. And that's why it's very specific to just 0.5% of all Washingtonians. So I feel confident we'll be able to maintain it at that level.
Okay. Isn't that great? The last is the best part, Walsh. I feel confident that we'll be able to keep it at that level. Will you make the pledge? Oh, I've made the pledge over and over again. People keep asking. But the last part of it tells the whole story. 1, he did not make the pledge. And 2, correct, I'm confident that we'll be able to keep it at that level. But if things change...
He's lying, John.
If things change...
Bob Ferguson is lying. They are going to lower the threshold for the tax.
Yes.
We ran a bill during that 24-and-a-half-hour marathon floor fight on this. We offered an amendment which actually put clearly into the bill that it would be null and void if the threshold were ever lowered from what it is currently.
Yeah.
And they refused to add that amendment to the language of the proposal. So they are lying.
Yeah, that's a trap.
Let me attest. They will get this into law, and if we don't turn it around with a lawsuit or initiative, they're going to lower the threshold. And mind you, the threshold is one little paragraph. So all you have to do is delete the paragraph, and the state income tax applies to everyone in Washington.
Yeah, it's like a Batman trapdoor. All of a sudden, holy trapdoor, Batman, and you fall through from...
You're dating yourself, Curly. That's the Adam West Batman. We've had like 3 or 4 since
I'm only
then.
dating myself because no one else will, Jim.
Oh, there we go.
Thank
There
you.
we go.
All right. So there's going to be a 3-prong attack. You know, we had Travis Couture on the other day, who, by the way, does a much better job with lighting and camera work than you do. And he said,
Hey, wait a minute. They kicked me out of my office at the Capitol.
And that's not true anyway.
I'm like in a reception room in the basement. They're supposed to be fixing my making it nice and making it better over the summer.
Okay.
But for the meantime, I'm down here with like the reams of copier paper.
I see the copier over your shoulder there. That's like, and then some like piece of crap artwork that's giving bad reflection over there. All right. So Walsh, Travis Couture said something really interesting. Unlike you on many of your appearances on the show, he said that he believes that this thing, the passage of this illegal taking of income, that this will motivate the voter to then all of a sudden say, we're not going to put people like this in office. We're not going to allow lawmakers to violate our Constitution. And this could create a sea change in the House and there in the Senate and Olympia if you get good candidates to run. That's one of the prong attacks that you have in place.
Correct. That's correct. It's going to be all three fronts. And again, I think they all three feed off each other and help each other. The lawsuit helps the initiative. The initiative helps the lawsuit. They'll both be going on for weeks and months. I mean, the deadline for the initiative, if we tried to get it to the people this year, we got to get the signatures collected by the first week of July. Mm-hmm. So through the spring and early summer, we'd be collecting signatures for that, and that'd be in the news. And the lawsuit will, of course, go on its own timeline, but it'll get filed. That'll focus more on the constitutional elements of it. That is, it's unconstitutional. And then all of that builds up, I think, a groundswell that'll help common sense candidates this fall. I think they all fit together.
Yeah, but your challenge is that you say it's unconstitutional. That means it goes up and goes before the Washington State Supreme Court. A third of the court will be leaving in 2026. They'll be appointed by Ferguson. So you have Justice Lewis will leave. And how old she is?
57.
57, right? And then Madison, who's been there for 33 years, first female on the court. She's in her 70s, and I think there's a mandatory retirement.
There's a mandatory retirement.
So you're going to lose.
Some are quitting, and some have to retire.
Right. So then it has to go back to a hand-picked group of people that Ferguson puts in place. So that hurts you, Jim.
Well, there are a couple things we can do. I mean, first of all, we can add some scrutiny to the temporary appointees that Ferguson's putting in. I mean, one of them that he named is a woman with some experience, but the other one is basically a bagman for the Democrat Party, no experience as a judge. And that fella may have some trouble holding on to the position if he gets it. Remember, we elect our judges in Washington, but the tradition is judges tend to quit or retire halfway through their last term, leaving the governor able to appoint a temporary judge who then runs as the incumbent. It's sort of a old school Tammany Hall type setup.
Right.
So we got to bust through that. But I mean, the case on the constitutional defects in the state income tax is pretty darn strong. And I know that Rob McKenna has already said he's interested in maybe leading the charge on that lawsuit. And I think he would be a pretty able advocate making that case, even to a stacked Supreme Court. And then there's the talk of moving it over to the federal system. You and I talked about that before. It's about a 50-50 shot, but you can use what's called the Dormant Commerce Clause in the U.S. Constitution in some cases where something like this is so egregious. And we might be able to argue that point and get it flipped over to the federal side, where the outcome would be more fair.
Let's talk about money. Who's funding all of this, Jim? Because these initiative things don't come cheap. And second part of the question is, was there anything shenanigans there in Olympia that sort of kneecapped your initiative abilities?
Yeah, well, I'll start with the second one first. They put what they call a necessity clause on the scheme. I don't know why they called it that. It's essentially an emergency clause. And what that means is the law takes effect immediately on the signature of the governor. And let's talk about that in a moment. instead of the normal 90-day phasing in period that takes place with standard laws in Olympia. And the 90-day standard phasing in period is set up to allow for a referendum. Remember, in Washington, we have referenda and initiatives.
Yeah.
They're different. Different states use the terms differently. In our state, a referendum is one thing. It's the people's veto. It is narrowly tailored to overturn a recently passed law.
Okay.
And so you get 90 days to get signatures. You don't need as many signatures as for an initiative, so it's faster, it's a little easier to do. But because of the necessity/emergency clause, we can't do that on this.
Yeah.
What we can do is a regular initiative.
Right. So
And
to
an
make
initiative
it
can
to
be
make
many
the
things.
to make the fence higher for you, they slap the emergency thing on, so you don't have to just get 70,000. Now it's like now you have to pay the money. They're gonna grind you. They're gonna grind you down. They're gonna grind you down. So now it's the initiative process, and I think these guys get paid by the number of signatures they get, and it's not cheap. You can spend what did Brian and Future 42 spend on some of those initiatives? $6 million or something.
Brian Haywood runs Let's Go Washington. Future 42 is slightly different, but Let's Go Washington is the organization that runs the initiatives for that kind of cluster of organizations. And it used to be that you'd had to spend about $6 million to get an initiative qualified. And the Let's Go Washington crew is very efficient. They've ground that price down to about $1.5 million or $1.25 million. And they think they can even do it for cheaper than that. Because what we can use on an issue like this, which is very unifying in opposition to the tax, is we can use a combination of volunteer signature gatherers and some paid, and that helps lower the cost of getting the thing qualified. So that's what's going on. I mean, we're talking with the organizations Let's Go Washington. A couple of the sort of business lobby type people are involved in it too. No surprise there. You'd expect they'd be. This is going to be a group effort.
Yeah.
I mean, some initiatives are more like one group really cares about it and they do it kind of themselves. Other initiatives it's a real group effort. And this is going to be a group effort. It'll be probably 4, 5, 6 different organizations involved, and that many groups chipping into the cost of getting it qualified.
We're speaking with Representative Jim Walsh of the 19th, heading up the Republican part of the state of Washington. Jim, I have to, the sheer audacity of the Democrats. They knew, like playing a game of Stratego. There I am dating myself again. They knew that this thing was going to be challenged by you. They knew the initiative process would be probably one of the big legs on the stool. So I love the fact that they were so concerned with the signature gatherers. They wanted to pass a law, right, that they had to get paid by the hour, and they were only, and if it was a certain temperature, they weren't going to be out there, and they're concerned that they would get a cold or something, so they could work 8 hours. They couldn't work extra, and they had to be paid by the hour, not by the signatures, because they knew that would S-can your ability to get any signatures done, right?
And we killed that bill. That bill did not get through. They filed it, and then they found out some of their own organizations that support them, the Democrats, they do initiatives too, and they didn't like that deal. So they had really nobody in their corner, and we were able to knock that one down pretty quick. That's the other story of the session that just ended, John. I mean, we played great defense. I mean, we killed a lot of bad bills.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a couple of the worst got through, but we forced the governor to really pick the ones he wanted, because we were knocking bills down left and right. And that one that would have restricted initiatives was one of the ones we killed.
Yeah.
And, it was good. As I said before, I'm like a blitzing outside linebacker. That's my job in Olympia. I'm not there to get my name on a license plate bill or something. I'm there to kill stuff. And we did a lot of that. I know that you had that piece in the teaser on the mayor now all excited about the basketball team coming back to Seattle. And,
yes.
She's a big basketball fan. She likes linebackers in basketball.
Give him a rim shot. He deserves a rim shot. Okay, fine. Hey, Walsh, so it is a 3-prong attack. So we are going to, you got a lawsuit coming in. You're going to do the initiative process on this. And what's your third piece, or third part?
Run candidates.
And then run the candidates.
On the issue.
So here's the good news for anybody that actually understands and is concerned and outraged by the fact that they want to have an income tax. The Republicans, Walsh, Brian Haywood, Let's Go, Washington, everyone is answering the call. So there could be some justice here in the state of Washington.
I think there will be. And I think Travis Couture, you talked to before, is right. I think this is an inflection point. I've been saying this for a while, but I mean, I really think this one is it, because it's more than just the money. And this is one of the arguments we made on the floor in that long floor fight. Mm-hmm. It's more than just the money. It's more than just the tax policy. It's cultural. I mean, the reason we've been a great place for tech industry is our tax structure encouraged that development, those entrepreneurs, those businesses. And if we put this in place, we're going to change the culture of Washington and chase all those businesses to Idaho and Texas. And I don't want to do that.
No, that's why Jim Walsh is going to be blitzing in from the right side. All right?
From the Fighting 19.
We'll see how long my knees hold up.
Don't forget to wear a cup. Times have changed. There he goes.